Everyone, I hope you're all well. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, it's where I talk about twin flame process. So firstly, just to say that I thought I was going to do monthlies this month, but somehow it just seems to have got away from me. So it's like the 6th today, and I feel like I haven't got time basically. It's taken up a lot of my time having a puppy. It's like having a baby. So I just don't have time, I don't think. So I'm going to do this video, which is about Pisces full moon that's coming up on Saturday. Maybe I'll do monthlies next month, or maybe I'll do them halfway through the month. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So this moon is a Pisces full moon. So the full moon is feminine energy. So that's about higher self. It's about reaching higher, basically. Pisces is spiritual energy. It's emotional energy, as it's water, but it's really spiritual. So that's also about higher self and reaching higher, and it's also the end of things. So it's the last sign in the zodiac. So it's about wrapping things up and coming to the end of a cycle. So it's very clean energy, this Pisces moon that we're coming into. So it's like they're saying, it's very sharp and angular. So although it's a watery energy, Pisces, and normally it's kind of entrails that drag on forever, right, with Pisces, because it's like it's never ending, sort of. Feels like Pisces goes on, like that emotional dwelling in the emotions kind of a thing, and that like almost they just said suffocating, can be suffocating, like underwater, like feeling like things crowding in, which can be if you're Pisces, you probably know that sometimes you become overwhelmed with your own emotions, and that's an essence of Pisces. But because there's height, right, with a full moon, like they say in higher self, and there's and that combined with the Pisces in the moon this month, which is about taking things higher. They're showing me yin yang, which is masculine and feminine, and just being taken higher basically. So a cut-off point, they said just then. So there's a cut-off point for something this month that maybe you have been going through, or that you've been feeling, because it is feelings in Pisces. So, and it's that everything about being human basically, although it's a spiritual sign. So the spirituality of being human is that being tied to your emotions, and as it is in Pisces, and not being able to control this, being overwhelmed that you have in being human with these emotions. But like I say, feels like that's just being shown the light. They just said like the light's coming on something, an understanding maybe. They just said super ego. Super ego is the super ego. Do you know, I'm not even really sure what it is. You might want to look it up. And I did know at one point what it is, but I think I've forgotten what that is. Super ego. I think it's the ego of the parent. It's like your the ego outside of self coming from the parent. It's like what you attain to be, like egoically what you're striving to be through what is maybe put onto you by your parents, something like that. So the end of something like that, perhaps. End of what you feel put upon, what has been put on you by others, something like that. Spiritual attainment, beyond that. So it's beyond ego. Well, it's always beyond ego, what's being given, what's being asked. But it's been the attainment of what is beyond ego. So your spiritual height is the attainment of what is beyond ego. basically, in your lifetime, right? While you're alive. It's the release of all that is human whilst being human. Samadhi, with spiritual enlightenment, complete let go, a complete let go of anything that would ever bother you about being human. Could be anything. Could be like what you've been expected to be in terms of career. Could be about the love that you've expected to have. Could be something to do with family, being expected to have a family and have children that you haven't, achieved, or if you want to call it achieving when you do that, which I'm not sure it even is achieving really, but people would say that I haven't achieved it yet. It's a terminology, isn't it? So something like that, maybe it could be anything, but moving beyond the limitations of what it is to be human into just acceptance of love for the self. And then in that, the freedom to just be who you are and be alive and enjoy being alive. And like you're living life and not looking at life through a looking glass, not waiting to live life, but actually living life, it feels like. So the true spirituality of being human is about living life to the full in whatever way you choose to do that, or whatever way that is presented to you, and whatever way that is offered to you. So there's discrepancies, right? Again, it's like, so this like feeling like you're stabbing yourself in the back, basically being human, which is like, I haven't got what I thought I should have being human. Haven't got the family, haven't got the career, haven't got not living in the place I want, haven't got the love that I want, any of those things. That's all limiting, right? And then the freedom to just enjoy what you bring to yourself. So an understanding as well that what you bring to yourself through yourself. So you bring through your vibrational self. So it's not from outside of self. It's not like anything's withheld from you. In effect, you're only withholding it from yourself ever because you're not aligning with it vibrationally. So what helps you align vibrationally is just acceptance of your present moment and feeling good in the present moment. And from that, everything else will come. So it feels like in this ending that's coming about in this Pisces is the ending of something that has held you back from something that you desire. And in that all is healed. Pisces is also healing. And then what comes about from that healing. So, and again, it's like, what's healing? Healing is a let go of anything that would bother you or trouble you in your mind or in your heart. So in a feeling of just letting go of that, then you are ready to attain what it is that you truly desire, coming from the feeling good that replaces that. So that's what healing is. And that healing is going to be brought about in Pisces. And that's the end of that. So that's that, basically. What's this that jumped out? Oh, look. 4 of Pentacles, which is now moment. So it represents now moment in the physical. So this moon, although it's Pisces, which is the watery realms of the healing, of the spirituality, of the emotions, there's something in it that is really, really, really down to earth, basically. I believe this moon is a harvest moon, so that would also make sense because the harvest is very, very physical, and the harvest is a culmination of something in the physical. So culmination of your physical healing. So that's a culmination of where you've got to so far, wherever that is in your life, with whatever it is that you've gone through. So it doesn't mean that your life's over. It just means that you're moving beyond a point of resistance, they just said. So a point of resistance, which is resistance to your own life, basically. So there's there's always this like hard done by energy that we have to deal with, that's resistance. That is the feeling bad in relation to what we've got. And that's what we're moving beyond. So we're moving into a feeling good in relation to where we are, which is merely a letting go of where we've got to, which is merely, again, not being caught up in that present moment in a way that is mentally torturing, emotionally torturing, or physically torturing. So, and physically torturing is only because when the resistance that is in the present moment against the present moment, resistance can come through the physical body as well, which it doesn't, that resistance feels stronger at the moon. Maybe it will feel stronger as you go towards the moon, but the resistance will heal also. So, and just to say as well, I probably said it before, resistance comes up in several different places in the body over time and repetitively. So you might get those repetitive issues coming up. I know I've got my left shoulder that's pinging, like there's a trapped nerve. Also my left leg, like all down the left hand side of my body, it's like coming up in a trap nerves, like restless leg and a restless arm feeling. That really jarring, like, like a scratch you can't itch because it's not a scratch, it's a trapped nerve. So I've got that, which leads to a lot of grumpiness, because it's like really highly resistant. So you might get something like that coming up, or even several things, because I've got a couple of other things as well I won't go into. So being in the present moment, basically aligning with the present moment. So you go towards, not away from what's happening in the present moment. So just know that as well. So if you've got the resistance coming up in the physical body, the best thing to do is to try to merge with it. So instead of being in that like tensing up against it and going into more resistance because of it, which is what the human, angle always is. It's like, oh, I don't want this, I don't like this, it feels horrible, I wish it would stop. And which comes up in you, that's that resistance to the resistance that's showing up in the physical body, is to just kind of slide into it a little more and as much as you can, bit by bit, and just kind of try and merge with it and feel it out. And like, where exactly is this pain? How am I feeling this pain? Is it just my shoulder? Is it coming down my arm? Is it in the wrist? I mean, even as I'm saying that, I can feel like the resistance going from my shoulder and moving down, and then it's in my back of my hand and my wrist and the knuckles on my fingers. So it's like almost healing that pain by going towards and just kind of becoming at one with it and getting to know it. So that's how you deal with resistance in the physical body. Of course, it's not going to go straight away. It'll go back again to where it was, and then you start all over again and you go into it again. Just that, really. Start to discover it. It probably gets worse before it gets better, because then it starts pinging around like a pinball machine, because I just felt it go up the back of my neck then, and then my elbow where it hasn't been before. It's like it just starts moving around. But the more you go towards it and into it, to like you're not scared of it, right? Like you've got no fear of it. Like, let me feel it and have no fear of feeling it. The less it becomes your resistance to it, and the more it just dissolves. So just to say that, really, about that, because everything is fear in the physical dimension. That's resistance. Right, let's get these cards going on. Okay, 9 of Pentacles, which is a woman, feminine in her power in the physical world. So again, it's about finding the power of higher self in your physical domain, in your physical existence, basically. So aligning yourself with your vibrational self completely. So that is just what they said before, basically. It's like, I'll just use my arm as an example because it's pinging away there. Right, it's like I could, from an egotistical standpoint, say, why is my arm hurting like this? It's really annoying. I really wish it wouldn't hurt like that. I haven't done anything to it out of the ordinary. It's got no reason to be doing that. It's debilitating me. I can't get on with things in the day that I want to do without feeling, like I say, it's making me feel grumpy and like I can't do anything and short-tempered, basically. But aligning with higher self is to know that you brought yourself the pain, because it's healing the resistance, and it's healing resistance in your twin flame as well. And that's therefore aligning why you've brought yourself that. And then you can just start to maybe move around the day, even in that pain, without any like giving away your power to the pain. So you just maybe have to carry it with you until the moon's over, and then it'll release. And you own your power over it, basically. So you know it's for a higher good. So that's just an example, right? So the pain is for a higher good. So therefore, I'm not gonna resist it. I'm just going to allow it to be. And in fact, sometimes if I've got a spare moment in the day, I'm going to go towards it and start to investigate it and feel it out. That kind of stuff, right? And she's also completion as well. She's 9. And then we've got the King of Pentacles coming out. So this is a masculine in a physical. So we're just talking about a man there, really. Mastery of a man who is physically incarnated. And you're in relation to that. So how do you relate to that? So again, the relationship is through yourself. Twin flame, it's all coming through you. So this person actually sitting here really calm and placid and kind of in acceptance. So that's the mastery, right, of being in the physical, acceptance of the physical. So what is acceptance in the physical? The masculine is just like this feeling of like being able to, like life not being a struggle and life being quite something that can be dealt with and coped with and handled, and not something that's frightening or worrying or something that is extreme in any way or overwhelming, and all this stuff. So it's like your ability, the feminine's ability to cope with things in the physical in that way, calm, centered, in the present moment, working from higher self, knowing that everything that arises in the physical in the present moment is through vibration, therefore it's meant to be. You could say as well, it can only be the way that it is in the physical. We could say if it's not twin flame, it's meant to be, right, that everything is exactly how it is. But it's very different if you're on an individual trajectory than if you are on a twin flame trajectory, because twin flame trajectory, everything has to be the way it is because of the healing of the masculine through the feminine. So it's just doubling down basically on the work that you do in the physical, again, of resistance, of healing resistance, not just of yourself but of somebody else. So the acceptance of that, right, and the acceptance of that vibrational understanding that you bring to yourself, what needs to be healed in them, and what needs to be healed in them is like their ability to thrive as a human. So it could be anything from their mental aspect to their physical aspect to their emotional aspect, not just their vibrational aspect, because actually vibration is healed always, because vibration is always healed because it is what it is. So it's got to be physical, emotional or mental, really. So that's what you're healing at this moon if you're on a twin flame process. Going through twin flame process is healing the masculine and the masculine's ability to thrive as a human and not be overwhelmed by whatever it is that ails them, basically. And then we've got, 7 of Wands, we've got resistance coming out. So the healing of resistance through the feminine, power over resistance. And that higher location in relation to that. So just, everything's resistance. Everything that doesn't feel good is resistance, basically. So what's your offering in terms of that? Your offering is an understanding of that and then a determination to feel good, the power to feel good. And you could say, all this will pass. You could, because if the present moment is offering you only resistance in terms of twin flame process and you're feeling it physically, mentally, emotionally, feeling at your wit's end, wanting to tear your hair out, feeling overcome, overwhelmed, feeling like you've had enough, feeling like you're just in turmoil, maybe sick to your stomach, however it's coming through, wanting to cry, wanting to smash things up, all this comes through the feminine, is the understanding that all of that is resistance, right? And the acceptance of that, and knowing it will pass, and it will pass with the moon, because the work that you're doing is tied to the moon. So if it's coming up strongly, and I'm feeling it already, it's only Tuesday, moon's not till Saturday morning in the UK. It's a really strong moon, this Pisces moon, and it's because it's an ending, and because it's emotional, and they're just showing me like waves lashing on a beach, like tidal waves, not quite tsunamis, but really high waves. Like that Japanese painting of all the waves, kind of looks like that. And it's so it's waves crashing, waves of emotion. There's a clearing out coming in the pit of the stomach that I can feel. Feels like an emptying out of stuff that's been held there. So you might find yourself crying as you empty it out and let go. And I feel that's for the masculine, because it's hard for men to cry, right? Men masculine, I mean, it could be a woman, but that's the energy, right? So something there being let go of. So it's work that's being done in terms of that. Let's get the next one out. Eight of Swords, connection through the mind. So we've got that going on as well. Four of Cups, what is out of place? So what is yet unrequited love, basically. That's what they just said. So it's desire unmet. Unrequited love. So that's the heart of the issue in relation to the masculine. Coming through the feminine on behalf of the masculine. Mental connection. So you could have a bit of mind racing going on with this moon as well, like thoughts tumbling through, negative thoughts. It feels like desperate, clutching at straws kind of thoughts. Like a little bit crazy kind of mentality, as in like thoughts just of like, it feels like worst case scenario thoughts, and like the voice saying, all this like could have, should have, would have kind of, but it's so much of it coming through that it's not making sense. So it's a letting go of a load of stuff, right? Of like pain in the mind, of things unsaid, things unspoken, of agreements not met somehow, of action not taken in terms of speaking and owning up, they're saying, of not owning up and not making sense of things. So it's all coming from the masculine. So you might notice that in your head. So it's going to feel like your brain's just racing, and it's going to make you feel like you want to cry. And it's going to cause a lot of tension in the back of the neck and a tension in the throat, as that throat chakra is dealing with all that stuff coming through, basically, and being the holder of all that stuff coming through between the two twin flames. So that's going to go on as well. So really major healing coming with this moon, right? So again, it's like this is all the chakras tied together, right? So, and I've got it in the pit of the stomach, and it's an emptying out. Is this tied to the throat and all this unspoken stuff and all this, like, it's like a clamoring of like wanting to speak, of like wanting to say I'm sorry and wanting to make amends, but because it's been held back for so long that it's like tumbling through the throat chakra, and it's like as it's coming through, the release in the pit of the stomach is like, it's just like, they just showed me like my puppy when she gets really excited and she has the zoomies. So she does the zoomies at the moment. So like last night at 8:30, she just started suddenly racing around the house, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and she completely lost herself. And then she just pissed on the carpet because she was just like, I don't know where I am, I don't know what I'm doing. And so overexcited by her own self, and she just lost herself, basically. So they just showed me that. It's like that coming through the brain, right? The zoomies, basically. And probably she had that zoomies to show me that so that I could say that today. You know what I mean? So, right. Let's get another one out. Oh, look, strength, masculine and feminine, which is healing. The 8 is healing, major arcana between the masculine and the feminine. So it's one of those like, just batten down the hatches, press your hands against the sides, just like childbirth, right? Like, you know, you got to like push your hands against the wall and grit your teeth and just like grin and bear it, basically. Grit your teeth and bear it and batten down the hatches because there's resistance. Zooming through the brain in that 8. 8 here, the strength in that 8 of the feminine over the masculine, of you just bearing down on it. Completion in the 9 coming through the feminine in a very physical, in a physically manifested way. So far we've got it through the brain, physically manifested, right? And physically through the pain, physically manifested. He's calm. He's mastering. So you're aiding his mastery of being human, or he or her. And in this relation to this desire unfulfilled there, and bringing that into alignment. 4-4. See what else we got. 5, change. And this is all hell breaking loose. Right, this is like the shit hitting the fan. So this is, and we've got this in relation to this. Desire yet unmet, held out of reach, held at bay. Resistance, which is that feeling of tension and tightness, and that hard to be alive feeling. Like, what the hell is all this about, and why am I here? What am I doing here? And why is this so hard? Right, and it's all just like, even in the physical body, you know. And then moving through here, shit hitting the fan, 5 of Wands, but it's all change. So it's changing the resistance, but it's not an easy job of changing that resistance. It's like a supernova, they're saying, coming through, of energy, basically, coming through the vibrational pull. This strength is vibrational as well, this 8, because it relates to the Wands, and this is the infinity in this 8. So it's connection through the vibration. It's always connection through the vibration, but it's something moving through the vibration in relation to this desire yet unfulfilled. And Zoom is in the brain, the masculine at peace, mastering. Oh, rebirth, Empress. So coming into being again, rebirth into the physical. So it's the birth of the masculine. So therefore it's the birth of the physical reunion, or the manifestation of the masculine. If you've not had a reunion, if you've not met them, it's the manifestation of them, because he's manifest. That's the desire unmet, and that's the birth of it. Again, 3, feminine, Empress feminine, major arcana. And down here, Temperance, of who you are linked with, basically. So again, it's masculine and feminine. It's the energetic connection. It's the alchemy of twin flame, which is a vibrational connection. It's that magical connection that only twin flames have, that everything is about. Even what seems like a normal everyday occurrence is all about this connection. So everything that happens in your life is because of this connection, and everything in your life that happens is because of this connection. Does that make sense? So everything that happens is because of this connection, and this connection is because of everything that is a part of everything that happens. So it's like dualistic. So everything that happens, I'm going to say it again, everything that manifests into your physical life is what is because of your twin flame connection. And then things will manifest on behalf of that twin flame connection. So particularly for that twin flame connection, basically, to make it happen, to make the magic happen. So whatever's coming through, again, is aligning with a higher understanding of that it's all about nothing is ever lost, right? Desire unmet, heart of the issue. Nothing is ever lost, though, because everything in your life is about this connection. So if you've yet to meet the person, they're coming. If you've met them and they're coming back, they're coming back. Right? Nothing is ever lost, basically. It's all just in process. Let's go underneath. Devil, what will you draw to you? What's meant for you? Again, so what's meant for you? And this is desire as well in the devil. So it's a really strong desire, and it's a really strong pull that we've got right in the heart of everything. We've got major, major, major work going on around this strong desire and this strong pull. So it doesn't matter who they are. I just say, if you've met them, and you'll know, because the chemistry tells you who it is. It's not who looks right on paper. It's never who looks right on paper. It's not who your ego wants it to be. In fact, a lot of the time you'd rather it wasn't them because it seems so difficult. But the chemistry is undeniable. So despite the fact it's you may wish it wasn't them because it'd be so much easier if it was somebody else, there is no denying that it's them and that it's going to be them, basically. And sometimes that can also be what makes you feel really frustrated and even angry, because it feels very unjust to know that you're meant to be with somebody that you're having such a difficult time either not being with them or being intermittently with them, and it's just seeming like it won't gel. But you know the feelings are there, so it's always difficult. Right? At least so far, it's always difficult until it's end game. So let's go one more on these. Desires yet to be met, just out of reach. Also very frustrating when something's just out of reach. And because it's vibrational and it's in the vibration and it's definitely meant and it's such a strong pull, it does, when you don't have it in the physical, it does literally feel like it's just you could almost touch it, you know? It's all so strongly almost manifest, which can be also very, very, because it's that feeling of like, ah, if I feel it so strongly, why isn't it there? And if it's not there, then why won't this feeling go away? And that's can also be, you know, if it's not there in the physical, and why will the feeling just not go? Because it's twin flame process, that's why. So let's go in the 4. Oh look, King of Wands, the vibration of the masculine, coming out on that, on the desires yet unmet, yet met. So, and then we've got that running through the 7 in the resistance, and the change in the 5 of Wands. This is, I really feel like these 2 cards here, in fact, let's get something out on them, because I feel like, although they're telling me something, it's just really not that important. They're delivering a message, but it's not something I feel like is in any way, it's just not, it's not the main issue. It's not like the main message. King of Wands in the middle, right, and the vibration here is really strong. This is something here feels like that energy of like gritting your teeth and like hanging on to something. And again, they're showing me my dog, and when she hangs on to one of her toys when we're playing tug, and how she's got this like this inbuilt desire to not let go that is so strong in all like 4 months of her and 2.9 kilograms of her, that she will just not let go, you know. And this is what this feels like. It's like a dog with a bone, basically, in here. So if you think, right, vibrationally that you're connected to somebody who's got to be with you in the physical, however much resistance there is towards that, and I've already said here the resistance is in the head, and it's because what builds up, we'll just say, right, people that haven't been together for a while, because they've gone into separation, what's building up, although it builds up in you, in the feminine, and you feel it as this, it feels so close, why isn't it here? Which is really like that feeling of like resistance. So imagine what it's like in the masculine, because they're the ones that are holding back through the resistance. You'd have it if it was there, right? And that's also the part of the frustration is you just want to say what you want to say to the person when they say the thing to you, right? Because you've been waiting so long for them to say the thing, whatever it is, and you've gone through all these different permutations of what you're going to say in reply. You know, you've been through it all, right? You've gone through it all. You've gone through all the different avenues of what you're going to say to them, and you just want to get it done. So that's an ending, right? That feeling of wanting to get it done, that's in the feminine, that's the only resistance. It's like, I just want that, right? But imagine if the masculine, who's been the one that's not done all this, that hasn't come back, and like they said before, this racing that's going through the head of like all that they have not said. And then you are connected through the mind. So I feel like you will get that connection coming in, and you're going to feel like maybe it will come through as you being like, you know, I wish I could just get this said, because it's them feeling that I wish I could just get this said. But as it builds and it builds and it builds, and like I said, we've got it in the pit of the stomach, which is the instinctual drive of the masculine down there in the primal energy, and then we've got it in the throat chakra. That is that's a lot of energy that's coming through in relation to what needs to be said. And it is coming through the masculine, because it is them that needs to say it. So this is real prime energy here. Let's go underneath what's meant to be, ending, tower. So it's coming to an end, right? It's the pulling of you together is coming to an end. It's like a big momentous ending. Again, this card is like all hell breaking loose, the shit hitting the fan. But it's not, because it's an ending, it's not like it's going to go anywhere. It's just something that has to like pop, right? Like an explosion, it has to go off. Doesn't mean it's going to burn forever in the same way that it goes off in. It's just something that's got to come through. So when the masculine comes through, as they're coming through here, it's like coming through loud and clear. So it's this scrambled energy through the brain, and it's coming through loud and clear in an explosion of desire unmet. So again, and I know I've said this before in readings, because they do repeat what they tell me. That's why I know it all, right? It's like they're going to say something, they don't know what they're even going to say. So it's not pinpointed energy in the way that you might like it to be. So I can tell you this, however you do respond to it when it comes in, it's not going to be any of the ways that you thought you would. The only way that you're going to respond to it is with calm, absolute calmness. It could be that you don't say anything at all. Could be that, because that's ultimate power. Ultimate power is sitting on it and having feeling it out, right? Sitting on it, feeling it out, not reacting, not coming from a trigger or from ego. It's just I'm going to feel into this, just merge with it, feel my way into it. How do I feel? And then even on top of that, because you'll have an instant feeling of how you feel, is a higher feeling of how you feel and what is the best in this situation, and how do I feel about, and let's see how I feel, and then what is the best thing that I could do, and how do I do that, and how do I approach it, and in a mature way, in a harvested way, in a mature way. So, and that's this calmness here in the masculine, because they are what you are. So they can only come in through this when you become that you're meant to be, so that you can bring them what they need next. So whatever is next in the physical, basically. So let's just go, yes, here, 7 of Wands, relationship. So it's just resistance towards relationship. It's not personal, it's relationship itself. So that's, if you think about what is relationship, it's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. It's not just, I want that person. It's beyond that. It's like, well, how is our daily life going to be? What time are we going to get up in the morning? What time will we end up going to bed? Do we like to sit on the sofa in the evening together, or does he go running for 5 miles? And do I do something else? It's a lot. A relationship is like an engineering, feat of engineering, right? Human engineering. So the resistance is towards relationship itself. And if you think and you look back and you know how many hurdles you've had in relation to relationship, and how you felt in relationship, and how you have, in your disempowered state, as a disempowered empath, not been able to manage relationship in a way that brought you what relationship ideally should, It's in all the happy adverts out there, right? Of the couples brushing their teeth together and all that stuff, making it look easy. But when you're, if you've been through narcissistic abuse, if you're a disempowered empath, if you've had a hard knocks through relationships, it's not easy. It's not been easy in the past, right? And it's the same for them. It's not been easy in the past. So it's their coming to terms with, am I ready to do this again? Can I do this? Do I think I can have this relationship? Am I going to repeat my mistakes? Am I going to let myself down again? Am I going to let this person down again? Am I going to fuck it up? Am I going to mess it up? That's what the resistance is about. Because this woman, this masculine does not want to be defeated. Because it's not in the masculine template to be defeated. They're the conqueror. They're not the defeater, right? So if they feel like they're going to go towards something and fail, they just don't go towards it. Because that's just how it is. 5 of Wands, love. Ace of Cups, which is what I said, right? Because we've got here these 2 lower arcana, minor arcana, 7 of Wands, resistance, 5 of Wands, all shit hitting the fan. And then we've got major arcana here in relationships. So that's the thing, right? That's it in a nutshell. And that's a change because he's a 5. The Hierophant's a 5. There he is on top. And then we've got Ace of Cups down here coming on that. So an Ace of Cups, although it's not major arcana, it's a really... the aces are probably the strongest cards in the deck, really, I would say, in the most meaningful way, because they're like a wipe-out cards. They just wipe out whatever it is that is standing in their way. They're just clear energy, right? They're just unequivocal, if that's even a word, but it sounds good. It's like that you can't quibble with an ace. They're just like they're either a big yes or a big no, right? This one's a big yes. So it's like love trumps all, right? Love trumps any confusion or unclarity or any shit hitting the fan over what's a little... So it's like a little conversation. Love trumps a little conversation, right, when it comes down to it. And this big man here in the middle, this great big masculine, strong masculine, what, can't have a little conversation? Love trumps that. That's, the power of the masculine. Can't have a little conversation. Well, they can, can't they? Because they overcome everything in the end. So there we go. And it might come through like a zoomie in a garbled message, that's incoherent. Maybe they say the wrong thing, like a little piss on the carpet. I don't know. Or something that you're like, what? What the hell was that? Did they mean that? Or they call you the wrong name or something, I'm just remembering, right, when I had this, and remember it's all connected through vibration. So this is a vibrational connection. So it's beyond human. So it's not what you think. It's not egoic. So years ago, when I had a brief conversation with my twin, the one conversation we've had in the 7 years separation. I think is it 7 years? 7? Oh my God, no. It's oh God. It's a 14-year separation. At the 7-year halfway mark, we had a brief conversation, and he repeated verbatim to me something that he couldn't possibly know about me. And it was everything that I'd done in those 7 years. He just said, I've done this, I've done that, I've done that. And I was like, what? That's just everything I've done. And he didn't know he was saying it. He just garbled it out. But then, of course, because he knows everything that I've been doing. He might not know he knows it, but he knows it because he's as psychic as I am. So, they might say something that seems a bit weird. Anyway, moving on. Right, 9 of Pentacles, form showing up. So it's the form showing up on the power of the feminine. She's 9. I know 9 is... in the lower minor arcana, the 7 of Pentacles would be the harvest. But because she's reaping the rewards of her endeavours, this woman, she's also the harvest. She's created everything that she can do on her own, basically. She's completed her process. She's become everything that she's going to become on her own individually. She's mastered herself, and she's mastered being alive and being connected to her higher self, and she's in a state of abundance, which is really just thriving. So it means that she's got no worries or cares. So she just lives life to the full, and she lives life freely, and she doesn't count the pennies or worry about the pounds or anything like that, because she knows money will come when money is needed, and she just takes it in a stride and gets on with everything in the best way that she can, and loving life, and the form shows up on that, you see, in the page. Brand new form showing up in the physical. So it's about manifestation there. Connection here in the Temperance. And then we've got 7 of Cups, which is emotions. and lessons around emotions. So this connection that you've got in the twin flame that you've got is about lessons around emotions, basically. So we've got form there. So what we've got coming at this moon, lessons around emotions. Could be all sorts of things coming up, multitude, surprises, excitement, enlightenment, growth, potentials, possibilities. There's lots of opportunities for enhancement, expansion in the Seven of Cups around emotions. So, yeah, I mean, that can even be the person showing up because they bring opportunities around love and around you. Just, it'd be like if they were to come forward, and the coming forward in the physical is an offering to you of who you are. It's an offering to you for you to see who you are in relation to that, and for more growth, right, emotionally. So like I said, when they come forward, however, whatever it is that they say, you're not jumping on it. You're not there to look for like what it is that you can immediately jump on and nail them on, right, or grab a hold of and start thrashing around egotistically and berating them for, or chastising them for. You're looking at just staying open to that, to first of all find out how you feel about it, and offering yourself to yourself in relation to your own emotions, and then coming into a higher position around that. So that would be letting go of any resistance that's inside of yourself that might take you back into any kind of old victim mentality, any kind of purgatory, that like, oh, why did they say that? What do they really mean? And then thinking it's something bad. Because that's a very human endeavour, right? Is to always, is to like live, like sleep with one eye open, basically, looking for the person that's out to get you. In a high state of paranoia, which is actually delusional most of the time, because mostly people aren't out to get you. Certainly not once you've achieved your full power, although they might have been in the early days when you were actually surrounded by narcissists. So yeah, but by the end of the process, you realise, oh, that's all over. I have no need to sleep with an eye open anymore. Let me just investigate this for any. Yeah, I mean, maybe you are going to investigate it for any like, for what you think might be untoward. But if you're twin flame, they're not narcissistic, so you won't be looking at it for that anyway, because it won't be there. But maybe they were triggering you in the past, so you might look at it for that. But it won't trigger you when it comes in, not when it's time to come in. All that will be over with by then. Right, let's go. Him, King of Pentacles. Oh, got two will come out, so I'll get them both out. Death, which is transformation, and Nine of Cups, which is happiness. So full happiness. So that is the masculine transformed, basically, into full happiness. And that's the completion there. Empress and the brain of the feminine. So rebirth through the brain, but it's also communication through the vocal cords as well. Queen of Swords are about verbalization, and communication, rebirth of communication. So let's go here in the Eight of Swords. Seven of Pentacles, which is the harvest, which is representative of right now. It's a harvest moon, and scramble, this is thought coming through. If you think about it, right, each one of these swords is a possibility for communication. So you could say it's a spin of the roulette wheel, like where will it land whilst these zoomies are going on. But we've got the harvest coming out, that's a result, right? We've got the harvest there, Seven of Pentacles, we've got Seven of Cups, which is emotions, lessons around emotions. She's in her full power, the form's about to show up. Well, if she's in her full power, the only lesson she's got left is around the emotions of how she deals with another person, not herself really. Not herself on her own, but herself in relation to another person. We've got relationship here and resistance. You can only go so far on your own before you have to move through into like dealing with relationship with another person again. So But it's all a spin of the wheel, right? Where's it going to land? Is it going to land on just a uncommunicated thought, or communicated thought, text, email, voicemail, any of these things? So it just depends where it lands. But as we've got the King of Wands in the middle, which is really strongly masculine energy, really powerful energy, and we've got him being ready there, transformed into happiness, then, and a rebirth here through communication. She's ready, Queen of Swords. So she's ready for whatever comes through, right? She's ready to bring it through, to manifest it through how she's become. It's ready here for something to happen. Temperance, the connection. Seven of Cups. And just look at that, from dark to light, showing up there. That's how it moves, dark to light, the process, and then all this is matching up to that one there. So it's like possibilities coming in through from dark to light. So, and then one more card to get out. Oh, yeah, one more on here, on the strength of the connection and the healing of the connection, in the connection, not of it, but in it, through that vibrational link, which means that it's always healed, basically. So it's, the vibration is always fully healed because it's vibrational, so it can't be anything but healed. But because it's akin to Source, and Source doesn't ever need healing because it just is. But what you're doing when you're here being human is you are coming into alignment with your vibrational self, which is Source. So you're healing all aspects of being human. So that's the mind, the emotions, and the physicality. But, well, physicality is slightly different because that's just the resistance of the other two showing up through the, and how it affects the vibration, the glitches, the hiccups showing up in the physical body. So the physical body is just a vessel for the healing, really, I suppose. So let's go on there. Queen of Pentacles. So we've got Queen of Pentacles coming out as the answer to everything, basically, in this set of cards. So the connection and the vibration, feminine over masculine, strength of that. She's calm, serene, competent, centered, mastered in her own way, right? She's ready for it to come through. And there he is, also manifest. So there is manifestation coming in this, at this moon, a possibility. We've got that 4 that jumped out at the beginning. I'll get one out on that as well. The Lovers. So divine love, basically, coming through. So that's what I've got for you. That's what it's about. A lot of possibility of manifestation, of physicality, of the two twins, and that are connected through that vibrational link by the masculine coming forward. Yeah, that's it. And apart from that, I don't know, I'll get one more out. Page of Swords, it's communication. So we'll have to see, won't we? I mean, that's what they say. They said it before, I'm sure they'll say it again. That's all I can tell you, as always. Surely it's got to be at some point, right? Because it's always on the cards. I'll just get one more out on these two. This mental connection, and then the fruition. Success in vibration. Coming through success in vibration. Another one. Ending. 10 of Wands, ending. Energetic ending. So it looks like it is this month, or this moon. We'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments. And that's it. Lots of love. Take care. If anybody wants a reading or to do a session, all my details are in the box below. Lots of love. Bye.